Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु, धन्यवाद प्रभु।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Prabhu's Mataji, thank you for joining for this Bhagavad Gita session. Today we'll be reciting 12.6 and 7. Jagannath Baldeswara Mai ki jai. Om Jnantimarandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishnapresthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today from chapter 12 devotional service we will be taking up verse number 12.67. So let us recite the verse. Ye tu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate teshamaham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami na chirat partha mayyaveshita chetasam. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pratha, for them I am the swift deliverer of the ocean of birth and death. It's a very beautiful verse, right? See, in the previous verse, fifth verse, yesterday you might have seen, Krishna says, for Klesho Adhikatarisation, no? So for those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. And he says to make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. That's what he says in the fifth verse. So in the sixth and seventh, this describes basically the ease with which we can attain the desired goal by practicing true bhakti yoga is described in these two verses. So the devotional service is simple and easy. Why? Because Krishna personally delivers his devotees. So the only way, see, we shall see what are the few things we can understand from this verse, sixth and seventh. See, the only way to appreciate Krishna is devotional service. Secondly, we are also very fortunate if you are doing devotional service because we will be delivered by the Lord very soon. And we come to the realization of what Krishna is wanting and what he's saying. We can get that realization only in pure devotional service. And how can we do? We can see that God is great, Krishna is great. And we will also understand that the individual soul, we are souls, so we understand that we are subordinate to Krishna. And therefore, our duty is to render service to Krishna. And Krishna says that if you not serve me, then you will render service to Maya. See, there are a few, especially the basic principles we can understand here is, the first one is the mind. See, the mind will become, Krishna says, no, just completely fixed in devotion to Krishna. Mind is completely fixed in him. And what is the standard of devotional service? One can do any work, but work only for Krishna. That is the standard of devotional service. You can do any work, but it should be for Krishna. And what is the desire? The life's only mission and desire is satisfaction of Krishna. That is the only desire. Just how can I satisfy Krishna? Just like in Arjuna in the battlefield, right? He can sacrifice all for Krishna's satisfaction. Then this process is very simple. The devotional service which Krishna is initiating here is very simple. what you have to do? Just devote to your occupation and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Really. Just devote your occupation to Krishna and chant Hare Krishna. This will attract Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what is the promise given by Krishna? He says, without delay, he will deliver the devotee from material ocean. Without delay. Immediately. See, yogis have to personally endeavor to go to other planets. That's why in the Varaha Purana, it said, devotees do not need Ashtanga Yoga. But the yogis, they don't need all these things. Because Lord takes the responsibility. Like a child is taken care of by parents. Similarly. So Krishna, what happens? He comes on Garuda to pick from the ocean. Pick us from this ocean, material ocean. See, in the ocean, there may be an expert swimmer also, right? But he needs help to be picked up from that ocean. And what is the sign of intelligence? The sign of intelligence is to always prefer devotional service compared to other paths. This is the sign of intelligence. And there is a specific benediction given by Krishna in this. He says this benediction of devotional service. He says it is given in Narayaniya. There is no need to perform fruitive acts or mental speculation. This is one thing. And second, you can attain all the benefits of yogic processes, which are like rituals, sacrifices, just by doing devotional service. Everything is already included in that. And what is the conclusion? Simply chant Hare Krishna and go to supreme destination easily and happy. That's what he says in 18.6. Sarvadharma Parityaja. So the highest perfection of life is to take the shelter of the supreme, omnipotent Godhead, Krishna. See, whatever duty we are engaged in at the moment is all given by Krishna. So we can please the Lord by doing that duty nicely. We can add Krishna into our life. So Krishna says in 18.46 Bhagavad Gita, by worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, man can attain perfection through performing his own work. Like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, right? That's why Prabhupada in the purport of 18.46, he says, everyone should think that he is engaged in a particular type of occupation by Rishikesha, the master of the senses. And when the result of the work in which one is engaged, Supreme Personality of God Krishna should be worshipped. That's why if you're going to be getting a salary, right? Every month you take that, with that money, you should be offering to Krishna. Of course, Krishna will not take. If you offer to Krishna, he will provide you more and more. Don't worry about that. But fruits of that, you should offer it to Krishna. So if one thinks always in this way, in full Krishna consciousness, then by the grace of the Lord, he becomes fully aware of everything. And that is the perfection of life. That's why Krishna says in the 7th verse, Tesham aham samudharta, mrityu samsara sagarat, right? The Supreme Lord himself takes charge of delivering such a devotee from the ocean of birth and death. So that is the highest perfection of life. So in whatever occupation one may be engaged, if he serves Krishna, he will achieve the highest perfection. This is the beauty of the point. Whatever occupation you are engaged, right? But if you serve Krishna or satisfy the Lord, he will achieve the highest perfection. My Guru Maharaj says, he always insisted this by saying, immaculately we should do our prescribed duties very carefully. More carefully than whatever we do normally. Because it is from that duty we get our own existence. And he said more so in the temple area, people are working in the temple. Because here that is the only survival point. To do our seva perfectly, immaculately. So in the purport of 12.6 and 7, Prabhupada says, the Supreme Lord promises herein that without delay, he will deliver a pure devotee, thus engaged from the ocean of material existence. So those who are advanced in yoga practice, they can transfer their soul to whatever planet they want, like the yoga process. And others take opportunity in various ways. But as far as the devotee is concerned, Prabhupada says, it is clearly stated here that the Lord himself takes him. The yogis, they themselves have to do all the actions and everything. And then only they can transfer themselves. But we don't have to do only all this troublesome way. You just try to please Krishna by your activities. then Krishna will himself take you. The devotee does not need to wait, to become very experienced in order to transfer himself to the spiritual sky. So the purport of this verse is that a devotee does not need to practice Ashtanga Yoga in order to transfer his soul to the spiritual planets. So the responsibility is taken by Krishna himself. And Krishna says clearly that he himself becomes a deliverer. See, a child is is completely cared by his parents. And therefore, his position is very secure. Similarly, a devotee does not need to endeavor to transfer himself by yoga practice to other planets. In fact, Krishna, by his great mercy, he comes at once, immediately will come, riding on his bird carrier, Garuda, and at once delivers the devotee from material existence. As we saw in the pastime of Gajendra Moksha, right? When Garuda was praying, immediately he came. When Krishna and the elephant was praying, as Gajendra, Krishna immediately came swift. He came faster than Garuda also to deliver the devotee. So, in fact, see, a man who is fallen in the ocean, samsara ocean, he may struggle very hard. And he may be a very expert swimmer also, but he cannot save himself. But if someone comes and picks him up from the water, then he is easily rescued. So similarly, the Lord picks up the devotee from this material existence. One simply has to practice the easy process of Krishna consciousness and fully engage himself in devotional service. So any intelligent man should always prefer the process of devotional service rather than any other paths. Prabhupada says, simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just by chanting, a devotee of the Lord can approach the supreme destination easily and happily. But this destination cannot be approached by any other process of religion. That's why Prabhupada says in the conclusion in the Bhagavad Gita of the 18th chapter, 18.6 is Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayashami Mahashuchara. One should give up all other processes of self-realization and simply execute devotional service in Krishna consciousness. That will enable one to reach the highest perfection of life. So there is no need for one to consider the sinful actions of his past life. Don't think about those things. Whatever is gone is gone. Because the Supreme Lord now, when you're doing devotional service, Krishna himself fully takes charge of him. He gives protection. Therefore, one should not very futilely try to deliver himself in spiritual realization. So let us all take shelter of the supreme omnipotent God of Krishna. That is the highest perfection of life. So it's a very beautiful verse to understand. So the previous verse, impersonal feature is very difficult to attain and troublesome process. But now he's telling, just by taking the shelter of Krishna, just pleasing Krishna, he will himself take care and take you back to body. So what more one needs? So this is a guarantee Krishna is giving. So we should just accept it as it is and come back to God. Hare Krishna. Grantra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Shira Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur. Thank you, Prabhupada ji. Hare Krishna for giving the opportunity to glorify the Lord. Vancha kalpa karobhyascha kripa sindhuvaya vacha. Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu.